Mark Rogers TV and last word on sports. My college football predictions, week 13. It is Saturday morning, about 10:15 in the morning. So countdown to kickoff at noon, very close. The clock is ticking. So let's just run through them. For as much as I would love to talk about my favorite week of college football, my favorite list of games, rivalry week, let's just run them down. Here we go. Last week, I had a pretty good week at 12-8 against the spread. All right. Ohio State, Michigan, the game. I've been going back and forth, hemming and hawing about this game all week. I really believe Michigan's playing better football, but I believe Ohio State's the better team. The Buckeyes go to Ann Arbor. They win. They cover the 1 point. Michigan State, Penn State could really go topsy-turvy in the Big Ten and put the spotlight on Ohio State, Michigan, even though that game's going to be played before Penn State, Michigan State. So that's probably a good thing to keep the result of that game out of the players' minds in Ann Arbor. They don't know what's going to happen a few hours later in East Lansing. Michigan State covers against Penn State the 10 points. Utah, Colorado, the Utes faltering down the stretch. I believe that they've got enough against a improving Mike McIntyre team to get by the Buffs, but I like Colorado plus the 16.5 points. Utah does win the game at home. All right, North Carolina State. The Tar Heels with a slim hope of getting to the college football playoff, but how could the committee keep out a conference champion with one loss, having defeated the number one team in the country? First things first, North Carolina State. I believe it's going to be a tough game, close game. NC State has scored against the likes of Clemson, 41 points. North Carolina, though, much improved on defense. The offense gets the spotlight. Carolina wins it. They cover 4, but very close game against North Carolina State. All right, Florida State. More confidence here in Florida State overall. I believe they've got more playmakers on offense. Both teams are a mirror image. It's pretty incredible. Very outstanding defenses for both teams. Maybe not at the very best of college football, Alabama, Ohio State, but very, very close. Top 5 to 10 defenses, offensive line issues at quarterback, but playmakers to get the football to. Dalvin Cook makes a few plays that make the difference. Incredible to me that a one-loss SEC Eastern Division champion at home is an underdog to just about anybody, and that includes Florida State. Seminoles cover 1.5 at the Swamp. Okay, we got Georgia Tech. The records would indicate a blowout, 8-3 versus 3-8, but we know more under the surface about the issues with the Bulldogs and the potential of the Yellow Jackets, i.e. the Florida State game at home. I like Georgia to win this game. Think it's going to be a decent game. I think they win by a couple of scores. Bulldogs cover the 4. All right, we've got LSU, Texas A&M. We've got swirls of controversy there in Baton Rouge. We know the situation with Les Miles. We know the situation surrounding him. Who knows what the decision is? I believe he's out at LSU. All indicators are pointing in that direction. Talking about the football game, I think Texas A&M is going to have some issues here, even though LSU has shown us with 3 consecutive losses that they're not the team that was second ranked in the country or the team we believed it to be. LSU wins at home, Texas A&M plus the 5.5 points. All right, Iron Bowl, Bama, Auburn. Here's a confidence pick for you, even though it's on the plains, even though it's going to be competitive, even though Auburn is going to totally get up for this game. Alabama's front 7 is going to dominate this game. The Tide will have issues scoring at spots in this game. It's going to be fairly competitive, but in the end, 21-point game. So Bama covers 13.5 at Auburn. All right, Clemson, South Carolina. I do like the Gamecocks. They're playing better. Take the 18.5 points. Rivalry game, a lot of points to put on the table. So I like Clemson, of course, to win the game, get to the ACC championship game undefeated, number 1, but South Carolina covers 18.5. I also like in a confidence pick, Oklahoma State plus 7 against OU. I believe the Sooners will get the job done, win the Big 12 championship. So they win Bedlam, the Big 12, and most likely a college football playoff appearance. Oklahoma State, though, plus 7 at home. I like it. Mississippi State Ole Miss, a game that I covered for 6 years in the SEC, along with the Iron Bowl. Mississippi State Ole Miss. I like the Bulldogs to win at home. Therefore, they get the 1.5 points. So Ole Miss, even if Alabama falters, does not, according to my pick here, does not get to the SEC championship game. Mississippi State wins the Egg Bowl. Stanford, Notre Dame, Irish have to cross country without one of their better players, without all the injuries that they've had, missing so many players, tight end, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, but they've played without those issues. Now, this is the true test of, are you playing down to your competition, or are you scraping by, i.e. what we saw out of Florida State last year? For Notre Dame, I think it's a little bit of both. They will rise to the occasion. They'll play a decent game, but Stanford's way too tough at home, with Notre Dame having to make the travel. Cardinal win it. They cover the 3 points. And finally, USC, UCLA. I really think the Bruins are playing better football at this point. This is a game of a combined 7 lost teams vying for the Pac-12 championship. So the two teams, or the two programs that should dominate in this division based on resources and location, have risen to the top kind of through the back door. And I think this is going to be a very entertaining game. Senior quarterback versus freshman quarterback. You would tend to favor the seniors' experience, but Josh Rosen has shown me enough this year that he can get the job done under adverse conditions. Only issue here for UCLA, main issue, is stopping the USC ground game, and the Bruins have had issues since they've lost Eddie Vanderdoes and Miles Jack in the front 7 of stopping the run. That could be an issue. It will be an issue, but UCLA overcomes it. Take the 3 with the Bruins and the win on the money line. Those are our picks. Need to hear from you. Let's hear your picks right here on Mark Rogers TV.